Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be going to a flea market and we are going to see everything that they have to offer.
And I'm putting the whole freaking bill.
We're not going to just one, we're gonna go to 10 flea markets in a span of 2 days because I can only take so much.
Hell!
If you like content like this, leave a like down below, leave a comment, and as always, share and maybe think about subscribing. I'm here for you every single week.
That is a lie.
Or at least I try to be. Every single week with some new and exciting toy content. And we're gonna have a lot of fun going to all of these indoor flea markets. If you're looking for great doll deals and you're looking for other kinds of like toy deals, you should probably always check an antique mall because sometimes they have really good deals and sometimes they have really bad deals.
And she means that.
In this video, we're going to find a good mix of both. We're gonna find a mix of great deals that I'm going to purchase, and we're gonna find some terrible deals that we're all gonna laugh at, as well as look at some of the random things that some people like to list and sell. Because let me tell you, people are wild. I hope you guys are excited because I'm excited. So let's go ahead and start today's video.
Shall we begin?
Our first stop of the day is to go to the Lakeland Antique Mall. I remember when it was much larger and expensive, but now it's smaller and still expensive. You know the old saying, if it ain't broke, charge more for it. And then you can open a booth at the Lakeland Antique Mall. There's probably more Disney crap here than at the actual Disney parks. So if you're a Disney nut like me, you might like that. And if you're into antiques, you might like the 1 or 2 booths that have something to do with antiques. A lot of the booths here have a variety, a mix between vintage, antique, and some oddities here and there, which makes for an interesting visit. Like this, for instance. Look, a game all about picking up sticks. Sounds like a lot of fun to me. I'm sure you've heard give a mouse a cookie, but have you heard about give a mouse a basket? I get kind of sad when I see Disney toys lying around because usually they're the first bought and also the first discarded. This little pig made himself out of wood. That's really gonna confuse the big bad wolf.
Well, they're too smart for me. Guess I'll go home.
Only the finest of art allowed at the Lakeland Antique Mall. This thing looks like it came straight from Courage the Cowardly Dog. This guy looks like he just watched Courage the Cowardly Dog. This to me is perfect. This is a bag inspired by the pink Victorian Barbie dream house. A dream house that I had as a child. It's beautiful, it's wonderful. Even though I'm wondering what a plant is doing in the elevator, but I digress.
You're just jealous, Jan.
Behold, the first Barbie section. Not all antique malls have them, but in my experience, there's at least one good antique mall that has one kind of Barbie section, and they either range from having really good prices or having really bad prices. That means if you find any Barbie treasures, you're gonna have to shop with confidence. As always with everything that you collect, you need to know what you're buying before you purchase it. That's the only way to find good deals. And in a place like this, it's pretty rare to come by. Anyone else think this looks like Fred Mertz from I Love Lucy? Is it just me?
It's true.
Well, zippity-doo-dah. Zippity-hey. With them prices, you'll be sitting on that shelf today. These must be the lights from the opposite side of the tracks. Behold, a glorious doll from the 90s. I find these Xena dolls everywhere. And what's a Florida antique mall without your tribal section? Imagine working retail and using one of these. Uh-oh, boys, I found your section. I like to check in these sections too for dolls because you never know. Sometimes you may find one just hiding in there. But unfortunately, the only doll I found was this, and they can keep that. This section's giving me NASCAR mixed with Country Bear Jamboree.
You better work.
I'm sorry, Mr. Peanut, but the only thing nuts here are the prices. About to call 411 to ask them where the antique mall is with the good prices. All these Barbie prices have me looking like this poster. I might actually go back and get one of these antique dwarf dolls. I just love Dopey. Where are all my witches at? Look at all these crystals and quartz. 'Tis the season to be hexing, am I right? And with a crystal that large, we're about to have some fun. Nothing screams fun more than a giant Ronald McDonald. This mannequin has seen it, and they are just over it. Nothing screams boss man than a mouse in a suit. This booth is the shit. There is poo everywhere. There's more poo in here than in the bathroom. More poo here than at the 100-Acre Woods. I was so happy to see Figment of my imagination until I saw his price. Roger Rabbit is one of my favorite movies, by the way.
She's got a point. She's an icon.
She's a legend, and she is the moment.
I love looking through old Disney postcards, but nothing made me want to pay $6 for one. What's a flea market without a Spice Girls doll and a NASCAR Barbie? It pains me to see newer dolls here, but I do love seeing American Girl dolls here, and they are a decent price. For American Girl, that is. This booth happens to be one of my favorite booths, but also is one of my most hated booths. Allow me to explain. They have a bunch of nostalgic items from the late 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. That is basically all they sell, for which I love because I'm looking at my childhood. But here's the sad part. The prices are just out of this world, and even though I love what they have and I love their booth's aesthetic, I just can't support them at those prices. My heart's saying yes, but my wallet's saying hell no. With all that being said, it's a booth like this where I could honestly spend hours. There truly is just that much to look at here. Don't look now, but it's another Barbie section. Now these prices are not as bad as the other Barbie prices on the other end of the store, but they didn't have anything that really piqued my interest. They did, however, have the first curvy Barbie, and she's iconic. The next place I went to is very far away from Disney, and by far away I mean it was at least 2 hours away. So I was really hopeful that it would not have those Disney prices, because I don't know about you, I go to antique malls to find treasures for good prices, not find them for what I would find them new, because that doesn't really make sense unless they're vintage and antiques, which this place was filled with. This has to be the best antique mall that I've been to in Florida in a while. You had your oddities, you had your vintage, and you had your antiques mixed with Disney. But here's the kicker. They were all good prices. Finally, Madonna has answered my prayers. This little cowboy knows what's up. They had some really cute vintage doll wardrobes. They were so cool. They were definitely a little bit too large to be for Barbie and probably a little bit too old. But if you had any antique dolls or composition dolls, these would be perfect. These could even fit with American Girl size dolls. Speaking of which, we found Julie in the box, as well as Midge. This Midge was super pretty, and I planned to circle back and get her, but then I forgot.
And that's the end of that chapter.
I think we just stumbled across Mommy Dearest. She's looking like Mildred Fierce. Thankfully, I'm the only expensive thing in here. They had a plethora of little figurines. I like the drunk man on the end. They had an outfit for your ex-boyfriend. This table really was Halloween, Thanksgiving, and of course, Christmas. They had a lot of interesting things here that I've honestly never seen before. These original troll dolls are simply endearing. We ran into the first Barbies that we found here at this antique mall, and they're not some terrible prices either. Something that really intrigued me was this Barbie clone. She's a Shulman doll, but they swore it was Barbie. Uh-oh, I opened up the case of Annabelle. Just kidding. I love Raggedy Ann dolls, and these Raggedy Anns are from the Georgine Company. At least I think I'm saying the company's name right. Anyway you say it, they're just simply charming. Even the one who looks very much used. And it looks like they're chilling right next to DW and Arthur.
Francine, can I ask you a question?
Sure, anything.
Why don't you go back to your own house and stop bothering us?
It has honestly been a while since I've seen this many trolls, and they make me so happy. I personally have never collected any, but I'm about to start, because this angel troll, that's me. In case you girls didn't know, it is time for Halloween, and this witch is clearly up to no good.
A witch.
They had some really nostalgic school supplies here. It was kind of random. And then, of course, what child from the 90s does not remember the Bearstein Bears or the Magic School Bus? Okay, so they did have one doll here that I was like, excuse me? She looks to be a reproduction of a brew, and honestly not a very good one. And with that price, she should have been at the Lakeland Antique Mall. I don't know what it is about some of these places, but I'm telling you, this must be the place to have another country bear moment.
My neck, my back.
At one time, this was the most popular doll in the whole world. Now he sits on a shelf.
That's what comes under the category of too bad.
This is a doll that I'm kind of upset I left behind. She was a little bit rough in her box, but for $5, a DoorDash doll? Are you serious? But maybe she'll be somebody else's find. Another great find is this wedding Barbie. Oh my god, for only $12? I was telling myself that I would swing by and get these two, but then I saw one of my grails. And I mean, oh my god, I have wanted this set forever. It found its way home with me. They had an itty bitty section dedicated to the Queen of Country, Miss Dolly Parton. Embrace yourself, Barbie nerds, because I found another one wonderful Barbie section. Some of these stalls had some of the best Barbie prices I've seen in a very long time. I was bereaved on a budget that day, so I could not simply get everything that I wanted, but oh my god. This is what I'm talking about whenever I talk about affordable prices. These Barbies were priced to sell, and they had some really nice ones. If this place were closer to me, I'm sure I would go back and buy some more of these beautiful dolls. And of course, I found my favorite of the batch, the superstar Barbie. I just love her look. Apparently, there was 8 doors. Here's Huggy. This is for all you antiques lovers out there. Look at this booth. I mean, I can't really say that much about it. From antique clothing to furniture, pictures, old medicine bottles, frames, to antique toys, this booth had it all. You know what else it had? Good prices. It seems like the further you get away from Orlando, the better the deals you find. They had some old Western toys here, like Davy Crockett, and they even had the Lone Ranger. And who could forget Roy Rogers? He was quite popular. This almost made its way home with me, an actual Farrah Fawcett poster. There was nothing like this Charlie's Angel. This dress is super pretty, but talk about your shotgun weddings, am I right? Comes complete with the baby carriage. This booth happens to be my favorite. It had the best variety and the best prices of all of the fashion dolls. We even had a Rosie O'Donnell, and right next to her was one of my childhood grails. I grabbed it without hesitation. This was the face I made after I found a really good deal. But again, talk about variety. This booth really had it all, and their prices were simply unbeatable. Are there any dolls here shown that you would have taken home with you? Let me know down below. This antique mall would be very dangerous if I lived closer to it. It's probably for the best it is so far away. Time to go to the next place. This next place, unfortunately, was quite disappointing. For what I'm looking for, it kind of stunk. I did, however, find some older Barbies. However, the prices for them, oh my god, they like made me have a stroke. I was like, what is going on with these prices? In my opinion, they must have been priced with those collector books from the 90s. I mean, just look how much the superstar Barbie was. Just go ahead and take a peek.
Tina! Bring me the axe!
This was probably my face walking around that antique mall. The prices were just not of this world. This torn up composition doll was $125 firm.
Excuse me, bitch!
I'm sorry, Marshmallow Man, you're not creepier than these prices. This clown knows what's up, and it understands me. Honey, break out the fine china, we're having guests over. This ideal Flintstones Pebbles doll almost made her way home with me. And again, here we are with some more delusional Barbie prices. Cheapest one there, surprisingly, was Special Expressions Barbie, with the most expensive being Sun Gold Malibu PJ. For why? Because this is just what you sold for online. But I don't know, who am I?
Breaking news just coming to us now. You're a bitch. Have a nice day.
I never saw a hula dancer have more fun. She's just the right amount of festive. POV me tripping my way out of this expensive store. This store is brought to you by Millie at $9.99. This little Raggedy Ann is so cute. Saw a whole basket of The Simpsons. And this little buddy's almost nightmare inducing. Sleep well tonight. Me experiencing heartburn from all the high prices. And I sat there and thought Lakeland was expensive. Lakeland's like Dollar Tree compared to this place. You just know someone bought this for their child's bedroom. Which leads to the question, what kind of monster would do that?
I'm gonna call you Christina.
Found some Project Happy Meal Barbies, but I have way too many projects. Also found your mom on sale. I think it's safe to say at this store I didn't buy anything, even though those prices were so tempting. Off to the next. Immediately I was greeted by a bunch of dolls. That German Cupid is not in my price range, but that was so cute. I also saw some Madame Alexander Dion quintuplets. At this antique mall, they broke out the big guns. They had some very big and very nice Patty Play Pal type dolls. I didn't look at their price, but they were 20% off. They also had Yosemite Sam and that darn Itchigaloop Bugs Bunny. Another fun fact about me, I love the Looney Tunes.
Then do get on with it, please.
Scattered throughout this antique mall, they did have some Barbie, but they didn't have a large section. They did, however, have a large section of vintage Disney stuff, which I personally love. I also loved how affordable it was. They also had a Papa John's pizza sign, as well as this beautiful fixer-upper. This looks more like a flower pot than a vehicle. And here's what lies left of Cruella DeVille's car. Times are real tough for Miss DeVille, but not as tough as it is for her poor car. This car would be so cool cool if somebody gave it a chance and fixed it up. The whole front of the store looks almost like an old general store, which aesthetically is very appealing considering you're going into an antique mall. The prices here weren't bad, but they weren't jaw-droppingly good either. And with that, I think it's time to stop at another and new location. So now I think we'll go to the next one. I mean, shoddy, what that mouth do? I saw a lot of these paper mache pumpkins, and they are so cute. I think we all know a person who looks like this. He's giving Mountain Dew. Another doll that I see commonly is this Marilyn Monroe doll, and a whole slew of holiday Barbies. But I do really love this Dance and Twirl Barbie. This booth actually wasn't really bad on any of these Barbie prices. A lot of them were quite affordable, and a lot of them were actually on my list. This Leanne Rimes doll looks like she's seen better days, and this was so nostalgic to see Barney and Chuck E. Cheese together, as well as this tooth guy. I can't remember where he's from, but I remember Chuck E. Cheese. I saw an Ashley Olsen doll and immediately thought of my friend Grant. Everywhere I go, I keep seeing this mouse. This one had some Madame Alexander dolls, and I would have loved to have bought them, but none of them had price tags. I found a key fob that is from Shady Pines Retirement Home, Miami, Florida. They had some very odd-looking monkey dolls, and of course the daddy of action figures, G.I. Joe. It's not very often that I see some original G.I. Joe figures, especially their accessories, which are probably harder to find than the dolls themselves. I remember these Franklin Mint dolls, and they truly are some of the most stunning dolls. You've heard of the talking fish, but have you heard about Jingle Jug? It's the trophy rack you've always wanted, and it sings and dances to Titties and Beer. This is so early 2000s.
She just loves her Savannah Lights. Nothing like a Savannah Light to take the edge off.
Sorry, must have had something in my throat. Do you all remember Space Jam? I do.
Old maiden.
And here's a doll I've seen throughout my entire life, Mrs. Beasley. I'm sure some of you had her growing up. Would you use a romance novel coaster on your table?
Yes, yes, yes.
These Mary Poppins lobby cards almost came home with me. I'm a huge Mary Poppins fan. The only downside was they were out of my price range, as well as this Disney postcard. Does not get any more flamboyant than that. How come is it every time that we find one of these Barbie cases, there's nothing in it? They're usually very used and abused. This must be the person who put $45 on a very beat up Barbie case. This plate's given Liza Minnelli.
Damn!
Liza Minnelli has always been that fun aunt vibe. I love her. I almost bought this for my bathroom. I just think it's absolutely so precious. I can honestly say I did not think that I would find a wall of vintage Furbies. I remember getting the original Furby when I was young, and that shit scared me. Here's another Pebbles, and this time she's with Bam Bam. These original Disney collector dolls by Mattel are usually the best and the most finest of quality. This antique mall had a gaggle between Barbie, Action Man, G.I. Joe, and Disney dolls. It also carried some I Love Lucy dolls, which I was lucky enough to play with as a child. From Frozen Charlies to China dolls, Bisque dolls, and Barbie dolls, this antique mall was a really fun place to stop, and it was the last place on my list to stop at. So now I think it's time that we take a look and see all the things that I picked up. I honestly feel like I might have shopped till I dropped. So I hope you all enjoy these finds as much as I do. Also keep in mind the audio might be a little bit wonky, but the clip it's wonky on doesn't last long. And without further much ado, let's look at my treasure.
We are back from the flea market, and Kitty, Marge, wants to be a part of the video, so I'm just going to let her. She does not want to leave me alone, which is fine because I love her. So we are going to start down here. This is the first thing that I saw, and I said, oh my God, I've got to have it. I got it for a really good deal. In my opinion, I got it for basically what it's going for, but I didn't have to pay for shipping. And I love all the dolls in there. They're just really nice. This wedding set is probably my favorite wedding set of Barbies, like in general. And the fact that you get like all the dolls to go with is really cool. This is probably my favorite Midge ever. I don't know why. I just love her face. I think that she is prettier than the average Midge. And I also like the fact this is like Kelly's first introduction.
Why, she's nothing but a child.
She's more of a Stacy. That is Kelly. And Barbie's really pretty, and Ken's really nice. And of course, Alan sports the what would be new Ken mold of the 90s, which is the Ken mold that I had growing up as a child. And we've got Todd. Todd came back Todd came back from the dead just to do this.
May she rest in peace.
Some other things that I found these fabrics, and I think that they would make really pretty outfits, especially of the era. Like I'm thinking 1970s with this one and this one, this red and white floral, and then this one is giving like totally vintagey, like just near the introduction of the mod era Barbie. And it's just really nice. It's very pretty. And since I don't have a Joanne Fabrics anymore,
I couldn't even keep track of all the tears.
I'm closely looking more into the fabric booths that I see at flea markets, just in case I see something that tickles my fancy, because 9 times out of 10, the fabric's really authentically vintage, so it's a really good deal. Another doll that I got was the Cut in Style Barbie, and I'm probably going to make like a little faux review of her because let's face it, like, you know, she's been opened, clearly things have gone on, and somebody has cut and styled her hair, so I'd like to do justice by this Barbie if we can. Another Barbie that I found is the first Bob Mackie Barbie, and I mean, what could be said about this doll? Like, honestly, check her out. She's gorgeous from head to toe. And I got her for quite a steal. It's in really good condition. I don't have to do anything to her. She's gorgeous. It's really cool to have a piece of Barbie history because I feel that's what this doll is. She's also a piece of fashion history because I love Bob Mackie. I got some Barbie Fashion Avenue outfits, and I also got this one that's Barbie for President. And although it's not the best Barbie for President outfit, it has been on my radar. And this is like an example of the fashions that my sister and I would get as children. Like, they're these cheaper fashions. They really weren't that great. They weren't like the Fashion Avenues, which were a little bit more expensive. But they were still nice, and we still liked them, and we still did whatever we wanted to. And we still made them work just as if they were Fashion Avenue. Another doll that I found was a Pedigree Cindy. I don't know what she's doing here in Florida, but I'm happy to find her. I believe this is one from the late 70s, and she's wearing a original Cindy doll outfit from Pedigree, included the shoes. Her jeans are on backwards, but this doll is newer than the outfit. I'd like to find an original Cindy from the 60s. It's going to be something that I will be looking for in the States, so wish me luck.
No.
Another thing I found was this PJ. This PJ is just in typical mod condition, the way that you find these dolls when they're played with. But, I mean, everything is all there, all fingers, all toes. She bends and clicks at the knee. She's perfect. She's great. Got great shape Barbie. Found her and felt really bad for her, especially since, like, after Toy Story 3, anytime I see a great shape Barbie, which was the Barbie in that movie, in case you didn't know.
Poor Barbie.
I get the Corvette.
Anytime I find her at a flea market, I go ahead and grab her because I think back to those very sad scenes with the great shape Barbie being sad because she got dumped by her kid. And I got this Ken, and he was wearing like these really nasty pants, and I didn't get to see what somebody did to him. Apparently this Ken's legs fell off at some point, and he's pretty damaged. So I kind of feel bad for paying money to get him, but also feel like I could give him some new life. This is Ice Capades Ken, by the way, which he is on my list, and I'm going to get one that's in better shape. We have All-Star Barbie. I love this Barbie line. The All-Stars Barbie line is really fun and really cool. It's like if Great Shape Barbie got a little bit more outrageous, and she comes with like workout gear, and her bag turns into a dress. And all the ones in that line are just so cool. My favorite being the Barbie, Teresa, and Christy. They're super cool. And we've got Earring Magic Barbie. She's been on my list for a while. If you've seen my flea market videos, you know that anytime that I see her, I'm like, ooh, maybe I'll get her, maybe I won't. The only reason I haven't gotten her just yet was because of the pleather outfit. But that's all right. You know, I'll just repaint it if it flakes off. But she's super pretty. And yeah, I'm going to keep her in her box for now. And later on, we're going to do a review of all of these boxed Barbies. Next one is a very special one. I'm going to dedicate a whole video to my reproduction Barbies, which this one will be in. So I will go more over why it's so special with me in that video, so stay tuned. But I was so happy to see this set. I've wanted it since I was a child, since I saw it in the Barbie Collector magazines. And to be able to have it and to be able to get it for such a good price is just beyond fabulous, honestly. This was something that I immediately picked up and said, I'm getting this no matter what. But it's gorgeous, it's wonderful. And that, my friends, is all of my finds from my flea market adventure. Let me know what your favorite find is that I found down in the comments below. And if there's anything in the video that you saw that you liked that maybe I should have picked up.
I know you hookers don't think this is over with.
So why don't we take a look at the cut and style Barbie while we're at it. This Barbie very clearly has been opened prior to my purchasing her, which means she's been played with.
She's educated.
And I can also tell that she has been cut and not so styled. But if you look at her, she still looks pretty nice.
Wishful thinking.
Yeah.
You're a dreamer. You dream a lot in your sleep.
No, not really. I know.
Yes, you do.
No,
yes, you do.
A lot of these Barbies that I've seen on eBay appear to be very wonky, and I don't even want to go there with that. You know, we still have Barbie wonk in today's day and age, but it's interesting to see some Barbie wonk going on. On the back of the box, we have Barbie cut and style, cut Barbie dolls growing hair again and again. And I'm really hoping that she has some of that growing hair still in here that I can find, so that way we can make her hair grow again, because I think that would be fun. On the back, you see a loving mother observing as her child takes a pair of scissors right to Barbie's hair, and she looks more than happy to do that. And I just think like these kinds of dolls are just so much fun because it inspires you and it directs you to be creative. And we're kind of missing, you know, that kind of play in today's day and age of toys. Although, like, retrospectively looking back at it, it's like really telling you to do something to your Barbie that cannot be reverted, unless, you know, you're good at reverting. But who knew how to do that whenever you were 5 years old?
Right, as always.
On the back, it says pull her growing hair out. Bangs. Long and curly. Pick a style. Short bob. Long shag. Oh, it looks awful. Take them all to the salon. Look at that. So you've got Teresa. Oh, wow. Look at Teresa. Hey. You've got Barbie with that classic bang going on. And then the beautiful Christy. So let us go ahead and just open this doll. And you could see, like, she was put in the box upside down. At least her box liner is upside down. So let's just go ahead and open it and see if she still comes with all of her stuff. This is going to be a mess. So thankfully, this doll has just about everything except for one crucial part. This doll, unfortunately, is missing her back. It is just gone, which is so unfortunate because now we got this big gaping hole. Oh! Another thing too, this doll's hair is cut and not so very styled. Check that out. More cut than what I thought. But I would imagine that the hair that you were cutting was supposed to be this. You know what I mean? It was supposed to be like this hair, and I feel like with the actual hair, you probably weren't supposed to cut. Now, when I saw her in the box, sure, yes, I knew that there was going to be a risk that she was going to look wonky as hell, and she kind of stays true to that because look at that face. It is very slanted, but it's still very cute, of the era at least. It's just very interesting. I do want to actually like buy this doll untampered with and see exactly what she's like. I mean, this doll does come with like all of her accessories. The only thing she's missing is a whole lot of hair in her back. She comes with like her sunglasses, an extra pair of shoes, which I had no idea she came with. Those are really nice. She even came with her scissors that did all that damage on her. And she came with her curly extension, which feels like to the touch
feels like Kanekalon, which is interesting because the doll's hair is Kanekalon, the one rooted in. And then you've got this one, which feels like a low-grade Saran. It almost like, it feels really springy on the ends, very different feeling. And it also came with the hair gel, and the hair gel is unused, which I think that's like all gone. Came with like her little fake curling iron. Like the doll came with a bunch of hair play accessories that you could fake play with, like a tube of hairspray. Now a lot of this stuff was still connected to the box, so this doll must have just been like, cut her hair and then they were like, yeah, no, I'm done with her, put her back in the box, you know what I mean? But there's her hairspray. And a lot of these plastic bits, they are pretty discolored, but they're all still very nice. This was flowered clips. They came with a lot of fashions and a lot of Barbies at that time. And a little hairbrush for Barbie as well. She came with her little salon cape with the pockets that you could put all of her accessories in. And she also came with her instructions. So on her instructions, I could see everything that she comes with here. The other thing that's missing other than her back is her style cards. Those things are missing too. But at least we can open it and see exactly what this is like. So there's the back part, which we don't have anymore. And so you were supposed to insert it with the needle up, which I'm not even gonna tell you girls what this looks like because I feel like we all know what this looks like. And it's kind of strange, but there you go. You wait for the click and then you pull it all the way out, and then I guess the hair goes all the way in. And then you just cut it right there. Do not pull out too much hair. Pulled hair cannot be pulled back into the doll. I think with some ingenuity it probably could, but it probably wouldn't stay. Removing hair extensions. And there we are. And here's the back. And the stand's really cool because it goes along with these boots, which these boots came with the Scooby-Doo Daphne doll. And I remember I had the Scooby-Doo Daphne doll, and these were some very fabulous boots. So it's very cool to see that the boots go into the stand and kind of like hold her firmly in place. And it also shows you how to take off the boots. And that is Cut and Style Barbie from 2002. There she is, poor Barbie. Now, I'm thinking that maybe we can try to restyle this hair somehow. You know, I'm gagged about all the accessories. I mean, look at all this, like, you can't get that for whatever this doll was probably worth, like 20 bucks when it came out. Maybe not even that. But this is fun. They do still sell these refill packs on eBay. They're getting more and more expensive as the years go on. Same with this doll. So if this doll is something that does interest you and you would like to have a little bit of this Y2K Barbie hair play realness, go for it. Again, it might be something that I want to purchase again later on down the road, where I have one that's in really nice shape. But it's super cool, like all the little accessories and everything. There's her brush that you use, which is a really decent brush. It's pretty nice. And the scissors, like these have got to be safety scissors, but these really look like they could hurt you, which is probably why they had parental supervision on the back of the box, you know, because these really look like they would hurt. I'm not going to test it or anything, but in the 90s, I don't know if y'all remember, if you were a kid or maybe you were a parent then, we had those safety scissors that were like all formed with plastic and had a itty bitty blade, and it was said to be impossible for your child to cut their hair with it, to cut your pet's hair with it, to cut their skin with it. I found ways of all doing every single bit of those things with those safety scissors. If you part it down the middle, it doesn't look that bad.
Sure, Jan.
It just looks like she has some really thin extensions on, but I don't know. I'm living for this doll. I think I am gonna go and get it when it's brand new in the box, so that way I can play with it. And I probably will cut these extensions because I think that would be fun.
It's what she would have wanted.
So I said to myself, girl, you literally have one job to do, and that is to make this fun. So you know what? We're not going to toss her aside just yet. We are going to try our best to do something with her actual hair. So I've got my professional shears, and I also have a rat tail comb, and I'm going to try my hand at working on this Barbie hair. Now the doll is still dirty, but I don't really care. It's not that dirty for me not to work on her. And I still could try to use these little safety looking scissors, and I still could try to use this as well, but somebody already used these. And check her out, this poor girl. I mean, she got layers all the way in the back. I've not seen a monstrosity like this since I opened up a play along Britney Spears Lucky doll from 2000, and I think it's like 2000, 2001. And if you've ever had one of those dolls, let me tell you, that is a butchered hairdo. And this is looking very similar. But just like Britney Spears of that era, I'm thinking about making this doll's hair to be very similar to the Lucky hairstyle in the video, because she did have quite short hair in that video, but it was still styled really pretty and stuff, and it would still allow for you to still have this long hair extension in the back. And I figure I'll just save like these little hair extensions for whenever I have a doll with longer hair. And with these hair extensions, we'll just use these to blend through the doll's hair in general, so that way she can look like she has a nice head of thick hair, and that way we don't throw her out, because I hate throwing out Barbies.
Clap if you care. All right, let's move on. Perfect.
So let's get to work. Okay, so I thought I was recording actually, and I was not.
Up my ass.
So I've decided amongst myself that I'm going to restyle this doll's hair, because I have a hard time with throwing dolls away, especially ones from my generation, because I feel bad. But anyway, I took the hair that was, so it looked like this, where it was like really choppy. Like you can kind of see like how it's still choppy in the back and stuff. And I cut it short to look as something like very similar to like what Britney Spears had in the early 2000s, because I think Barbie pulls a lot of her inspiration from Britney Spears at that time, because she was like really like the main thing, you know what I mean? But basically, like when this doll's hair is like done and actually like dried off and washed and everything like that, I think that this will lay down a lot nicer and look nice, and it'll look better than her having, you know, like a hack job. So I'm going to show you how I got the hair looking like this to like this, and then we're going to give it a nice boil wash and hope for the best and see what happens, you know?
Her life will be better because of me.
So the doll's hair, like it's still hopeless, but it's not that bad to where I want to just throw her away and call it a day. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to give this doll some curtain bangs, because I think that's what would save this look for me. So I'm gonna go right where the nose is and just start slowly trimming down. There we go. Because again, imagine with the water that the hair sits like that. Okay, so we're also going to try to match up. Let's see here. We'll get that. And get that. There we go. We are taking away some length with the haircut that I'm deciding to do, but that's just because, like, if you look in the back, like, there's no length, really, honestly. Okay. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take the comb, and like you see like how there is this hard section up here, like where it's just like a shelf. I'm going to try to
reduce that by cutting in an upward motion like so, and just thinning out the shelf a bit. See how it minimizes that shelf? Just kind of blends it in. Okay, so we're gonna do the same to the bottom. I'm just gonna take the shears and just go up. There you go. Now they actually have thinning shears for this reason, just to get rid of shelves and all of that. We're going to brush this down in my hair mission, which I never shared. I just started talking about Britney Spears, but you know what? Still, we could talk about Britney Spears all we want. I love Britney Spears. Wonder what that's like. Okay, it's not so bad actually. But I kind of have a feeling these aren't safety scissors. There we go. Wow. So we're going to do the same thing to this hair as well. Just kind of trim it out throughout her hair if it looks more like highlights or if it just looks a little bit crazy. Because I really think that you're supposed to cut the actual like hair switch and not her actual hair. Like, I think that was the premise. They didn't really say it like in black and white, but I kind of feel like that's what they were kind of going for. This is a play off of the 90s cut and style Barbie, where you actually did cut her hair, and on the back of her head was a patch of Velcro, and you could Velcro the hair extensions to the back. At least it doesn't look as atrocious as what it did when I first got her.
Are you sure?
Okay, so let me go ahead and wash up this doll and see what her hair looks like whenever it's boil washed. So here she is, all washed up and her hair all pressed. And there's the hair. Got a big hole in the back. But yeah, basically there's the hair, and it's a little bit uneven in some areas. And if that's the case, you can just like take it and just chop it off and all that stuff. But she's giving Christina Aguilera mixed with Lucky Britney Spears. Is it my favorite? No, I think this kind of haircut makes her in this outfit look a little bit more boxy than what she usually should probably be. And I'd like to have like the back part of her, and I'd probably like to have one that doesn't have cut hair, which I know that means I'm probably going to have to buy one that's in the box, because this doll came with a pair of scissors, and that's just asking for it if you ask me. But anyway, that is the cut and style Barbie from the 2000s. There are some actual like better reviews, more so than mine, because mine's not really a review because I didn't really get to play with an untampered one or anything like that. But I will post down below a really good review done by my friend Dean, and he did a really nice review of a cut and style Barbie, and he actually had it as a child. But let me know what you think of this doll in the comments down below. Would you like to see me do a full review of a mint in box one? Let me know.
No!
Also, this doll I did not find at the flea market. This doll was gifted to me by my friend Dean Reen, who also has a YouTube channel. I just love everything that he does, and I'll leave a link down below in the description to one of his doll reviews, his cut and style Barbie doll, because I love it. And he also has one on the 90s version as well, but he lovingly gifted me this beautiful bride Barbie doll. I had the costume and all the other fixins for her, but what I was missing was the doll, and she has evaded me for majority of my collecting years.
Old maiden.
I never was able to secure one whenever I was bidding on one, and I've never seen one in person either. But when he offered to give me this beautiful Barbie. I mean, I just couldn't believe it. It was like a dream come true, because the doll he gave me was in a really beautiful condition, as you can see. I've done some work to her hair. I have recolored her face, but just look how beautiful she is. Now, this is not her original veil. Her original veil would have been a little bit different, but she's a very hard to find doll, and I don't have that. But in my opinion, she is really the beginning of a new era for Barbie. And she's the last one with this mod twist and turn style face with the rooted lashes that Mattel made until their reproductions. And she's so stunning, and I just want to give him a huge shout out to his wonderful kindness and for gifting me this beautiful Barbie. And you should go out and check out his channel. He has a really nice one. It's one of my comfort channels. I have several, but every time that I watch one of his videos, I feel really nice and warm inside. But anyway, I just wanted to throw her into this video and just to give him a huge shout out, because it was incredibly kind of him. And yeah, just thank you so much, Dean. Another thing that I picked up at the flea market is this Barbie for President from her Cool Career Fashions. And I'm going to try this outfit on my favorite childhood Barbie. She's one of the few Barbies that I have left, and for my childhood, that is. And this doll was my prize for winning a cakewalk. And winning her was like walking a cakewalk. I remembered getting her, I remember picking her out, I remember being so excited and so proud that I won her. This is a tea, I think it's like tea party or tea time Barbie from the 90s. And she's had a refurb. She's been restored. She had to be rerooted because I brushed her hair just nearly to the point of her being bald, and what was left was really like ragged and beat up and dry and dead end and frizzy. It was really bad. And she also had a body that had the permanent ballet slippers, which I always hated as a child, but I love the Barbie, so I'd like try to work through it. Since restoring her, I did put her on a standard 90s Barbie body, one with the high heel toes, so that way she can wear any of the regular and standard Barbie shoes to go with any of the fashions. So we are going to try on the Barbie President outfit onto my childhood Barbie, so this is very exciting. If we go to the back, you see the fashion favorites Ken line. Collect all your favorite fashions, sweet scents, and then we have teen time fashions. Nothing about Cool Careers back here, but this was made by Arco Toys, a division of Mattel. Originally, they made their own knockoff Barbie brands, but Mattel acquired them sometime in, I believe, the late 80s, early 90s, and they started making cheaper, low-budget, quality Barbie fashions. These were not the premier Barbie fashions. These were the Barbie fashions if you were bereaved on a budget, or these were just like your allowance money fashions, like something that you could easily afford a week, so to speak, to buy for your Barbie. And these were the kinds of fashions that my sister and I had growing up. We had these kinds, and Arco Toys also made like gift set fashions, which is what she's wearing, is a actual fashion that I had as a child. It is a replacement because I loved it so much. The fabric separated from the other fabric, and I remember trying to, instead of sewing it, because I did try and it didn't stay because it's organza, and organza is very difficult to sew whenever it's ripped. I hot glued it, so I kind of ruined it. So I had to get a replacement gift set, and that was like a dream come true as well. We've got the cardboard pieces, which are taped in, and I hate that. I really wish that they wouldn't do that because that tears off a piece of the cardboard. But there's her sign, Barbie for President. And we have her microphone, which I'm happy this is a real microphone and not just a piece of cardboard, because they could have done that. There's her microphone. Even has a little button on it, which these are an altered version from the 90s of the wide toe pumps. They're just a little bit different. So just in case you didn't know, there are variations between the wide toe pumps. And then we've got the ballads. Now, these actually might be stickers, and I believe that is exactly what they are. They are stickers. And that is so cool. So you could pin a Barbie button to any of your Barbie fashions. You can make them vote. And then, of course, I guess that would be the I voted sticker. So that's exciting. That's actually really cool to have like a little picture of Barbie. So this fashion is just taped onto the back or glued on. Woo, there you go. No more card. Here's the quality of the fashions. Here's a skirt. It's made of a lining material. It's not the best quality, but it's there. Velcro closure in the back. The seam right there has just like kind of ran and gotten gathered. Again, these were their budget fashions. These weren't their premier fashions at the time. But these are the kinds of fashions that are more reminiscent to today's quality of clothes, even though these are better quality by far. Okay. And then, of course, we have this, which, oh, that's just taped on. And this is just a handkerchief, I believe, to tie around Barbie. So that's interesting. Piece of tape there. Look at how it's constructed. I'm not going to say it's not constructed well, but it's not the best quality, as you can tell from the satin ribbon and stuff. It's still cute. It'll get the job done though. Without further much ado, let's see what this outfit looks like on this beautiful Barbie. So here Barbie is in her politician outfit. Give it a 360. I don't know if it's my Barbie in particular or if it is the outfit, but I think it comes more alive whenever it's on a Barbie. Now, do I think that it's really good quality? No, but I think it gets the job done. This is the kind of quality that we're kind of missing out on now. Like, if you look at it, sure, you know, like it's not the most well-constructed outfit that I've ever seen Mattel do, but it's still decent. It's nice. It has satin ribbon along all the sides. Everything is hemmed. There are no raw edges on this costume whatsoever. And I wish that they had some real like button work, but that's fine. At least we got some real satin trim. She's just super cute, and I'm really happy that I purchased this costume. So if you see this costume out in the wild, go ahead and grab it, you know, if it's cheap. This one was pretty cheap. It wasn't that bad. And I love the stickers. The stickers are so cool. And I almost like kind of want to put one on her, but then I don't want to damage them because I'd like to do like a photocopy of these if I can. So then that way everybody can have some of these stickers as well to go with their Barbies. But let me know what you think of this fashion down below. Is this something that you would have liked as a child? I personally, I've never been into politics. I don't do politics. I don't discuss politics.
Scandalous!
So let's not even go there. But I think that it is a very cute outfit for my Barbie. I was all into all of the fantasy costumes and such. Like, one of the first outfits I ever made for my Barbie was an astronaut outfit. So I probably would have been more into, if I had, you know, a choice between astronaut and politician as a child, probably would have gone with astronaut. But I think that this is a really, really, really cute set, and I'm very happy to have it in my Barbie collection. So something else that I wanted to highlight was this Bob Mackie Barbie. This was the first time that Bob Mackie ever worked with Mattel to make a costume for Barbie. And this was what he came up with. And what a beautiful collaboration. I mean, he had worked at that point on so many celebrities, including one that I hold near and dear to my heart. Well, mostly several. He did work for Marilyn Monroe, Judy Garland. He did work for, of course, Cher, Carol Burnett. That's just to name a few. He has done so much work for so many beautiful and talented artists, and he does immaculate and incredible work, and he still continues to work to this day, dressing some of our favorite stars like Miley Cyrus and Sabrina Carpenter. But here we're going to talk about Barbie. This is Barbie's first Bob Mackie doll. This is before they designed the Bob Mackie sculpt. They were still using the Superstar Barbie sculpt. He specifically wanted a Barbie that did not show teeth because he thought it was too hoity-toity, a little bit too goody two-shoes for him. He likes a bit of flair and sass, and you can see that in like all of the costumes and design work that he does. But if I can tell you, like, honestly, I love this Barbie because she reminds me of Madonna from the Blonde Ambition tour. She is giving that and then some, in my opinion. But wow, I mean, this is a gorgeous, gorgeous doll. If we look at it, I mean, even from the base alone, glamour, the shoes, they're metallic, they're gorgeous, and the outfit, look at the inside. That is sewn on chiffon, and look at that, it's immaculate. And that's hand stitching. That's not machine work, that's hand stitching. This is so difficult to do, and to do a good job of. We would not be getting this from Mattel nowadays. We really would not be. This would be like on the level of their one-of-a-kind dolls that they auction off for charity. Like, that's how extreme this doll is. Absolutely gorgeous. And it goes all the way to the back. You will have to take notice that this doll does not have any snaps nor closures. She was not meant to be played with. This is one of their first introductions into a Barbie collector line, which at that time Barbie had dabbled in but not really fully explored. And I believe, like, with the first introduction of the porcelain Barbies and then the Barbies collaboration with like designers were like their first introduction into being a Barbie collector line. Just gorgeous. We'll do another 360. Absolutely beautiful. What do you think of this beautiful Barbie doll? Let me know down below. Thank you all so much for watching. If you like this video, leave a like down below, leave a nice little comment, and share with all your friends. I have some very exciting things coming for you on this channel. I'm here for you every single week.
If you say so.
You'll have to let me know which one was your favorite find, and is there anything that I left behind that you would have picked up?
Yes!
I can't wait to hear from you down in the comments below. I hope you all stay fabulous. I hope you all be kind to each other, be kind to yourself, and as always, have a fabulous rest of your day. Bye-bye.
Have you heard? In the news, it's custom style Barbie. Now you can do what you never did before. You can snip, 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 and snip some more. For the very first time, cut as much as you dare. Just like magic, she's got long hair. Wow! Snip it, and twist it, like it, and then add some more hair. Add the style again. We've only just begun. Custom style Barbie. This is fun.
Hair refills sold separately, and make Barbie hair smell great by blowing fragrance with the Barbie hair blower. Batteries and doll not included.